Good afternoon, and welcome to the official Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms weekly live stream. My name is Dylan Wilks, and I am your host. And joining me shortly, hopefully quite shortly, will be our co-founder and lead designer, Justin. But we're busy trying to wrap up and get Event 10 ready to roll. So that's what happens when someone like as important as David has been sick for a couple of days, and you know there's a lot of stuff for Mark and Justin to get through, and so hopefully he will be joining us shortly. Just want to give a couple shout outs. The Duck again, yes, we know about statistics. Silisa, Buffalo Val, Obo Crazy, Marin 0616, Pikiter, Esbear 290, Thantanos, Deathly Hero, Panda Pantalones, Demerin Silverblade. Welcome to the stream. I find that we'll be doing it. So with Justin, we'll be doing a Q&A for more technical and design focused questions for the first half of the stream. At least it was intended to be the first half, but it'll be somewhere in the middle now, looks like. If you're wondering what that rattle is, it's the vent above me that I was just smacking before the stream started, but hey, whatevs. Let's see, what else are we going to do? Before we should continue, I should, of course, thank the official Wizards of the Coast. Thank Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons & Dragons for allowing us to be on the official D&D Twitch, which is super awesome. I mean, we're on a lineup on Thursdays. Trapped in a Birdcage is on later today. Critical Role is on later tonight, at least Pacific. So yeah, we're pretty stoked about that. It's an awesome spot to be in. And did you know that the Birdcage is just another name for Sigil, the City of Doors? Fun facts. We will be doing some giveaways, of course. I'm not going to be talking about them too much in advance, except to say that they are all different DLC for Idle Champions, including at least one that is for a familiar, but the order in which they're coming out, I'll let you guys figure that out. So yeah, enough about lore. If you have any questions for me, or other questions that I can answer that don't get into the deep and interesting world of super math that required to understand everything that's going on behind the scenes, feel free to fire them out. I will be here. In the meantime, I am going to pull up this game view. So here I am. Yes, I have a lot of favor and gold. I didn't use my my old school fire breath potions way back when, and I did not use them until familiars came out, and then I used all of them on both my campaigns to amass a fair amount of favor in both by all the blessings, etc. To finally see what all those people were doing with scripts back in like September. So yeah, before I choose which campaign, what mission should I be doing, since I was originally going to be doing one for Event 10, but I'll have to wait until that comes out. Canuck Monkey, tough to pay attention today with the new Witchwood release. It would be if you can get on the Hearthstone servers, because last I checked there was a wait to even log on. Yeah. Archimedes, Dylan, Mountain Grama stream when? You already know the answer to that. You already know the answer to that. You already know that I'm more than willing to do one once we actually release our tanking and healing update. Mad Wizard? Mad Wizard, okay, yeah. That's Grand Tour. I'm in Grand Tour right now, right? Yep. Oh, right, wrong city. I'm in Waterdeep. Now the best part about having crazy favor, watch this. Flunk. Hey, I can unlock just about everybody. So I might, actually I'm not even going to use Minsk, am I? I'll just unlock the ones I'm actually going to use in the end. Because why not? It's not going to be a humans formation, believe it or not. Strix is super good, so it'll be a Strix one. I'm just going to pull up this questions list because they're obviously coming in. Ogmok, could you explain to us, please, the Golden Luck Global Blessing in more detail, the 2% golden chest? I can, although you might not like the answer. So basically there's a base chance to have your chest upgrade to a gold, and the golden chest upgrades that by 2%. So it's a little bit better of an opportunity to get a golden chest from a boss rather than a silver. Now, I imagine the follow-up question is going to be how much how much of a percentage chance do you have already to get a silver chest or to have it become a gold? And you'll have to wait for Justin for that kind of question, because I don't have those exact numbers. Artifexy, will the next event be releasing today? That's the hope. No, it should be any time now. It'll probably come out during the stream. I mentioned yesterday in the Q&A that we were working on it and hoping to get it out ASAP, and so wasn't finished yesterday, but it should be finished today, and then and then event 10 will start. Panda Pentalones, on tablets you won't make annoying notifications about gold, right? I can't speak to the tablet build. I think we'll have to wait for Justin for that one, because I am not an expert on it. That's actually one of our devs, Peter, has been focused on that for a while. Lord of Hollows TV, event 10 hint, something to keep us guessing. Well, I can say that we released our champion teaser for the next champion, whose name is Nurak. We released that tease a couple of days ago, and it doesn't seem like anybody noticed that we released different text for it on each platform that all fits together, which should give you, if you're knowledgeable about the history of Dungeons & Dragons, a very good idea of what this champion is. Not who, because it's an original creation, but what he is. And in doing so, we'll also very much give you a hint at what's going to happen in the next event. Yeah, it's one of those things where if I spoil just a tiny bit too much, you'll know everything in advance. So the hints are definitely there. Lord of Hollows TV. The Project Mangler. Any plans to speed up gameplay for all or some completed levels? Maybe trade fate. Yeah, there are plans. That's kind of one of the things that David has talked about a couple of times on stream, in that we intend to have a way to get through those opening levels more quickly. We just haven't really decided how that's going to happen yet. Yeah, I'll just go with Makos and Barrowin. Because then it's Strix. Hey, I'm on level 7, or area 7. Silisa, how come you haven't completed the variant slot yet? I've completed everything. I have 100% achievements. Yeah. I just don't have it set to hide it once they're done. Lord of Hollows again. Any form of bestiary planned? Probably not. Usually that question stems from somebody having trouble figuring out what the enemies are that are on screen, so they know which one of Minsk's or Zorbu's favorite enemy buffs to go for on any given level. And admittedly, that's something that's kind of been overlooked by us. We haven't dealt with that in a way that works yet. Adding a bestiary for the game to the game is a pretty massive undertaking. Archimedes, I should specify, I've completed all the Steam achievements, not all the achievements in game. Especially since some of the ones for progressing through areas scale up the further you get. So they go a long, long ways. Anyways, yeah, so adding a bestiary to the game would be a pretty monumental undertaking that I don't know if we're going to do that. But what will probably happen will just be something that allows you to more easily figure out what type of enemy each enemy is. However, if you do find yourself wondering what kind of enemy type anything in the game is, everything in the game matches the 5th edition monster manual, Volo's Guide to Monsters, and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. And while Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes is not out yet, the few monsters that we have used from it and will be using from it in the near future are very obvious which favorite enemy types they are, if you are familiar with D&D. Yeah. Marin0616, do you guys consider adding monster races as champions? I would love a Githyanki. No comment. See previous question about hints. Blazing Wings. How low is the drop rate for shiny equipment? So shiny equipment cards have a 0.1% chance to drop per equipment card. So yeah, that works out very roughly to like 1 in, I don't know, 400 gold chests and 1 in 1,000 silver chests ish. Results may vary. Mitchell 1998. 98 was a good year. When is the Grama weekend chest coming? There's still 2 empty slots on her. We will get to that, but I can't say that the next 2 or 3 promos I don't believe are going to include Grama, so it may be a bit. Thantanos, is the new champion any good? Is he must have or want to have? Well, I'm a completionist, and I want to have everybody. I can't speak to how good he is because I don't get to play him until everybody else gets to play him. So yeah. Lord Satan 1138. Is there any way to get champions that you missed in events? Not yet. This is something that has been talked about a great deal since the game came out, because clearly people want some way to do that, and we hear you. And we have plans underway to do that, but the shape that that's going to take has not been defined yet. So, you know, when we add a feature that allows you to do something like that, to unlock and equip champions outside of events, we will let you know in advance. Just let me level these guys for a second here, because I just can't handle them sitting at level 1. I like to be able to level them up a bunch and start their formation stuff and then not pay attention to the game for a little while. E15 is a good spot to leave them at, right? They should be able to get to like level 100 something plus. Oh, and friendly, of course, or charismatic, what have you. All right, it's ready to just terminate everything. The Real Bunny Beast. Will progress be shared between the tablet and Steam versions of the game? No, they won't. Yeah, that's kind of one of those things where, how do I put it? I'll leave it to Justin or Dave to answer it more definitively, because like I can't comment on any kind of the technical reasons or anything about it. But no, we're not going to be sharing progress between those platforms. Backcatcha 00. Slightly off-topic question. May we get an update on your Shadowkai Warlock? Sure. We were actually just playing up until about 40 minutes ago, over our lunch hour. Let's see. The party has arrived in Vallaki, if you know the Curse of Strahd campaign. And, you know, after clearing out a nest of vampire spawn, we have unintentionally completely destroyed the leadership core of the town through circumstances that were not directly my fault. But let's just say that Enemies Abound is a fantastic spell in the right context, but sometimes there's unintended consequences. Yeah, so we've unintentionally installed a Strahd-friendly leader into the town, and we are regrouping. We're still level 5. Nobody has died, although we have come really close. Alexis's character, Morgana, nearly bit it a couple sessions ago when we were fighting Ezek, but I bucked off his arm and his head, so that guy's toast. Yeah, we're just we're at a point where we have too many possible quest directions to go in. We can look into missing people. We can continue to look for a missing priest. We can go out and meet some other allies. There's just like a whole bunch of different directions to go in, to the point where at the end of this past session, Adam's like, so what kind of direction do you guys think you're going to go in? Because I need to prepare. So it looks like we are going to raid the Baron's mansion now that he's dead. So that's what's coming up next. Archimedes, you completed the Calliope achievement. No, I didn't do that. So I didn't complete all the in-game achievements. I completed all the Steam achievements. They're all done. I have done all my variants. Vox Nix, can we get a Matthew Mercer champion soon? Or maybe a Matt Mercer bobblehead clicker familiar? So we all love Matt Mercer here, obviously, both as the crazy voice actor that he is. I don't know if any of you played through Titanfall 2, but it was an amazing single-player campaign. And then, of course, he's McCree in Overwatch, and then he's on some tiny D&D show called Critical Role or whatever that is. I have nothing to share about any potential collaborations that are upcoming related to characters and people that are not already owned by Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. Ted Faster, why didn't we get more of a breather between events? Well, put simply, is just the way our production schedule has worked out. So we aim to target an event every 3 weeks-ish throughout the year. And this is the back-to-back one, where one event ends and then the other one starts almost immediately after. You'll notice that Festival of Fools was delayed by a day, and you'll notice that Event 10 has also been delayed by a day. But usually there's about 18 to 20 days, give or take, in between events. This one is just, yeah, this one's shorter. There is another, like, we won't be doing back-to-back events again after this. I could share that. Giant Dwarf. Any thoughts about selling back to Wizards of the Coast a book of adventures? Tentative title, Championing the Forgotten Realms Idly, Annual 1, Festivals of Faerun, as there seems to be an overriding theme in the events thus far. I don't know that we've thought about that, but certainly when we were looking at how we wanted our production calendar to look and how many events we needed to, how many events we would need to come up with for it, there are quite a few festive events in the game. Yeah. It seems like the update has gone out, by the way, while I'm talking to you, including the social media posts and stuff that I was, well, some of it was that was ready. So, welcome to Greengrass. What I'm going to do is I'm going to restart this game and then start this campaign. Because why not? So shut down and update, and you can listen to the silence and the steady thrum of the vent above while I get this rolling. All right, library. Downloading the update. Oh, it's not even downloading the update. It's downloading the update for another game. Stop that. You jerk. All right. Well, I'm waiting. Brain user, it's not that I'm so late so much as I have a list of questions that everybody has been putting in, and I'm trying to get through them, and I'm trying to do other things at the same time. But yeah. All right. So I'm just going to keep answering questions while this game updates. It says it's ready. I'm going to hit play. Let's see what happens. Nope, it wants me to restart Steam. So yeah, that's a thing. All right, anyway, so I'm going to keep answering questions while I sort this fun part out. I wish I could put on another soundtrack, but you know what it is about copyright stuff on Twitch. I wouldn't want the video to get muted, so I will not continue listening to my grunge playlist from the 90s. All right, Steam. Panda Pantalones asks, what do you do at CNE? And that's a very good question. I don't know. Other than host a stream and draft newsletters and do marketing related things and community related things, I'm kind of a hybrid support to both our community manager Erica and our marketing director Clive, with a bit more of a focus on creative. It's funny because there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about related to that, but yeah, so marketing duties, community managing duties, moderation duties, streaming duties, and so on and so forth. I do lots of things. I have a vague job title, which is Creative Marketing Specialist, which is intentionally vague because it's difficult to define when you do things that are in so many different directions. But yeah, here's Greengrass. I'm going to use a thing to get a bunch of things, and then I can start this. That's enough, right? Or do I need 1,000? I'll just do one more just in case, because I haven't. I'm assuming the price is 100 tokens, but just in case it's 1,000, because it was 1,000 at least in one other event. Alrighty. Let's get this rolling. Anyways, yeah, I do a lot of stuff. Archimedes, when are we getting the CNE lunchtime characters in game? I don't know that that's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah. Silisa, does your Strix deal more DPS than your Jamila? Mine does, yes. Alrighty. The Endless War. If you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, you will be familiar with what the Endless War is. Oh, look at all the flowers and stuff. Oh, I'm going to need my clickers because this is going to be starting over from 0 favor. You'll notice I have the animations turned off, just because I know that there are some of our players who tune into our content who get like visual sensitivity, like to getting migraines and stuff like that. So I have a lot of the animations and stuff turned off, flashing, the animated familiars, etc. Although the pixie is bad. Pseudo dragon. There we go. So I'll let these guys click so that I don't just die. And oh my god, did you notice that auto progress was already on? Well done. Thanatos, why no Dadius in the formation? Because my Calliope's gear is just too much better than my Dadius at this point. That's why. I could see a wild Justin through the window, so I will bring Justin in for this Q&A. So the game is now running with some familiars, so I don't have to pay as much attention to it. And Justin is here. And there's an event live, apparently.
Yeah, but the familiars don't work in it right now.
They don't?
Well, they kind of don't.
They seem like they're working in it.
Well, they don't work on these guys here.
Oh, like leveling?
Yeah.
Oh, is that a bug?
No, it's a new feature.
New feature?
We've changed the functionality of familiars to now be even more useless.
Yeah, of all the things to happen on Greengrass, I should have known.
Yes.
See, I don't get to read any of this stuff usually.
Are you going to read it?
Well, I was trying to, but I realized that that's like so not interactive with either the audience or you. So
that's true. No, you just sit here and read it.
I'm going to do that later.
I'll do this.
Oh, Delantre, how do you find running or playing D&D in such a short time from frame as your lunch break? It always leaves you wanting more, because you always, like, it's hard to get through any, like, combat takes 2 to 3 lunches at least, that kind of thing. So it's tough. Yeah. Okay, I can't pronounce your name, dude. 4QFA, Forcaphonics. Would you slide your UI scale down? I thought I already did, but I can I'll check.
No, you don't
oh no, I didn't.
High enough resolution.
I don't on this machine. I realize that it saves the settings on each one slightly differently. Anywho, I guess that helps a bit. So, yeah, we already got a bunch of questions for you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, where do you want to begin? How about this short one? I have a question about exponential growth of gold HP damage in the game. Is there a reason for this mechanic? To me, it seems negative as it removes many interesting micro-optimizations from the table. Example, saving gold on one champion to promote another, optimizing champion formations between levels to gain extra gold, thinking about Trilaxel, having multiple viable damage dealers per formation, not just one, etc. So,
yep.
Why did you design the game this way, Justin?
It's a basic feature of idle games. Is that the growth is exponential. It's sort of a main sort of trope of idle games. So as we are an idle game, it's a trope that we follow. It allows numbers to get really big and be really fun, and it means that you can be surprised by the numbers because they get bigger faster than you expect.
It's true. I mean,
but, yeah, basically any idle game you play will have that sort of feature in some part of it.
We're trying to teach people how many zeros are in a quadrillion, right? That's why.
It's educational.
Yeah. This is interesting. Silverbird wants to know if the gold drop rate is the same across all campaigns and levels.
It is. It's different between event campaigns and the 2 existing permanent campaigns, but it's the same between the 2 permanent existing campaigns, and it's the same for every event.
Okay. Is that like, just on a side note, is that something that's like always intended to be that way, or is that like a
no, not necessarily? It's a balance point. We can fiddle with that.
Okay. What is with this formation shape?
Right. It's got a row of 4. Everyone likes rows of 4 or columns of 4.
Okay. Any chance during an event we could possibly win a event silver chest after beating any boss, not just finishing the mission? Okay, so the boss chests in the free play.
Yeah, and I think the amount of chests you can get from an event right now is pretty well balanced. You know, if you're a free player and you play through, you'll probably get a couple of epics and the rest blues. And I don't really see a point to bumping up the number of event chests you're getting.
I think somebody in the subreddit did the math, and they claimed that the average player will get 7 gold chests, assuming that they play and spend all the tokens.
That seems about right.
Which isn't a bad number.
Yeah, it's enough for all rares at the very least, and at least 1 epic.
All right, Desperados. Is there any plan to add a level all heroes to max upgrade everything possible button, like there is in Lost Idols?
There's no plan to do that right now, but we do want to, at some point, spend some time thinking about sort of the first 5 or 10 minutes of every run and how it goes. It can be a little bit tedious if you're really far into the run or into the game. So we do want to improve that. The level all heroes stuff, that was something we put into Crusaders to improve that in Crusaders. So we probably, I wouldn't say we do exactly the same thing in this game, but it is the problem that solves is a problem we would like to solve in this game as well.
Okay. It would just be kind of nice to be like tab over, click, and then get back to work. All right, this guy, Demarin Silverblade, one of our regulars. Some Steam achievements are currently impossible for people that either don't have old Fire Breath potions or haven't unlocked Barrowin. For example, not very charming. Do you have any plans to fix that issue, or are we going to have to wait until Barrowin is available again?
I think that's an issue that kind of goes away as we add more upgrades. It goes away as we add more champions. So for example, with not very charming, as we add more champions who aren't very charming, that gives you more options in that adventure. Likewise, as we add more upgrades, it sort of increases the damage that you can get to with your champions, really regardless of which ones you're using. So yeah, I mean, it's something we're thinking about. I don't think those adventures will necessarily be impossible until Barrowin is out again.
Okay. I mean, let's face it, we're going to nerf Barrowin into the ground before then anyways, right? Like,
Probably.
We can't just keep having it one-shotting everything. I'm kidding. I'm mostly kidding. Okay, here's another one. How does Codename Entertainment feel about golden epics replacing shinies? Especially with last weekend's Birdsong golden epic so soon after her event.
We feel that replacing shinies with golden epics is just a natural progression of items. You know, it's just like you go from uncommon, common, rare, epic. You go from not shiny, shiny, golden.
Yeah.
So
I think there's also there's a growing number of players, at least I get this a lot, asking if, you know, if they use their potion of polish and it goes on an item and then they get a golden shiny or a golden epic to replace it, whether or not they'll get some sort of shiny allotment back somehow.
Yeah, it is something that's on our list. We want to make it so that if you get a golden epic that replaces a shiny, that you would get a potion of polish back for that. It's just a matter of us finding the time to do that.
Cool. I haven't seen this yet. This is one of those Gith airships.
An astral brig.
Yeah,
they're called.
That's awesome. All right. Are you aware that the collection may be impossible to complete given that drops for ultimate cooldown percentage can be sealed off?
Yep, that is true. It's a good point. I'm not sure what we have to, or what we'll do to resolve that, but I know a lot of people have asked sort of about completing their collection, about how it's difficult to complete the collection because we force drops that are higher, and it can be kind of annoying. And so one of the things that we have considered is after you've got all the drops, all of the highest rarity drops that a chest drops, that it would go back and potentially start to try and fill in your collection for you as well. So it's something we've thought about, and if we did that, it would likely that may override the cap on the ultimate cooldown items.
Okay.
Potentially. No promises.
And Ladar, would it be possible for familiars to upgrade a random champion every X seconds, like how we do ultimates?
Potentially. Yeah, I mean, we're still sort of thinking about what we want to do with familiars down in the hero bar. I've had a bit of luck the last little bit, sort of putting 3 or 4 familiars on my last couple of guys, and then that way I don't have to scroll over there to level them up.
Tank DPS or something like that.
Yeah. But we don't want to do something. We do want to do something with familiars so that they feel more useful down in the hero bar there without having to have like 10 of them.
Yeah. Okay. All right, this is interesting. Axelrod, what happens when you hit the 1-year anniversary and yearly events come around for a second time? Will we see overlapping events?
Mm-hmm. So historically what we've done in our other games is repeat the events and just add more content into them. We don't have anything specific to talk about what we're going to be doing with Idle Champions events right now, aside from the fact that the events that are running this year will run again. Whether there's more champions or more adventures or whatever in them, we haven't really talked about yet.
Okay. Justin, there won't be annoying notifications on tablets about gold, right?
Like push notifications, like, "Hey, you've got this much gold. Come back and play." I don't know. I don't think so. I find those kind of obnoxious. We'll see.
When I first read it, I didn't understand it. I'm like, right, because I don't play any games on my phone or anything. But like, you just
the first thing I do when a game notifies me on my phone is like hold down, disable notifications.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously a lot of games find those very useful. I don't personally find them useful, but I'm not the only one who works here, so I don't really have the last say on that.
You don't? You don't have the last say?
No, I have the second to last say.
Oh, okay. All right. Computer Ninja, do you earn any less event favor if you play at a lower farming level? I guess area is what he means.
I mean, the amount of favor you earn is based on the amount of gold that you've earned in an adventure. So if you're not as far into, like, every area you go up, you earn more and more gold. So if you're in an earlier area, then you are probably going to earn less gold, yeah, and therefore less favor. So you want to get as far as you can in the event. That's how you're going to get the most favor out of it.
Is it still possible to get a shiny equipment on top of a gold equipment?
We fixed the bug where a shiny item could override a gold item. We fixed that really quickly, and we noticed that happening. If you've got all of the shiny items that a chest can drop, and there's a guaranteed shiny, it can potentially drop a shiny for the same slot that you have golden, but it wouldn't do anything to your golden item. That would just be a bunk shiny, which is the same as it would be if a shiny tried to replace a shiny. So,
okay, so it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can normal gold or silver chests drop event champion shiny items?
No. Only event chests can drop event champion shiny items.
How does that work with the weekend promo items? Because sometimes there's an event champion in there.
Yeah,
so same thing?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's the cards themselves. Any card that drops in the chest could be shiny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But since event champion stuff doesn't drop in regular silver gold chests, then they can't drop any for event champions, any shiny items.
Okay. All right. Awesome Ruby. Late to the party, but have you discussed how the new familiars heavily favor clicking? Because you can't level up more than 1 Crusader if you want 3 on auto pickup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a choice there. Like, if you have 4 familiars, Yeah, it's pretty useful to have 3 of them so you auto pick up so you can get to a higher level. But once you're sort of nearing that higher level, I find that if I want to go away for the night, I get more value out of having come back the next day and have my champions leveled up and have pushed further than having picked up the items 5 seconds faster or 10 seconds faster. So I think it varies based on where you are in a run. For sure, at the beginning, throwing guys on clicking and someone on click damage like we have right here really works out quite well. But we want to make sure that there's some options for familiars. So we'll see what the future holds for them.
Okay. All right. Baron's Promguard is requesting tooltips on different chest types to explain which champions may be able to get equipment.
Yep.
Similar to Crusaders.
That's a good idea. We should do that. I do find that it's. I agree with the sentiment there. It is difficult to tell.
Okay, I see Erica's already copying something about it. So
she already noted that down.
Yeah.
Before I even answered.
Yeah.
She knew what I was going to say.
Counted.
Just reading my mind.
Will the tablet version have the same events at the same time as the Steam client, or will we start with the Stokie event and go in a similar order?
Yeah, so we're gonna try and have the events at roughly the same time on other versions of the game. The only sort of thing for that is the approval times and update times and bug times are different between like tablet and PC and whatever else. So that's one of the reasons we're not doing the sort of account linking, is because it becomes annoying to keep all those things perfectly in sync. So we're going to strive to have the events start at the same time, but it's not necessarily going to always happen. But we're not going to, I guess to answer the second part of your question, we're not going to start from event number 1 again. It'll start from wherever the content is when we eventually release the mobile build or game.
Okay. That answers a bunch of questions, so that's good. Runo, this is more of a game dev question. What game engine are you using?
Sure. So Idle Champions is developed in Unity in a sort of customized engine that we've built inside Unity. So it's our own personal engine built on the Unity framework, and it allows us to be cross-platform and Mac, PC, Linux. We don't actually build a Linux build. A lot easier than if it was.
I'm sure you'd make 5 people happy if you did, though.
I'm sure we would. Unfortunately, it would require,
All right, this question is kind of cheeky. How is the redistribution of alt cooldown reduction overcapped levels going? God, that's a terrible sentence.
When we initially announced that, I think we said we didn't have any plans to necessarily redistribute those, just because it's such a tiny number of I don't even know. We haven't actually looked it up, but my intuition is that there's barely any players who have multiple cooldown items at level 500 or higher.
That's what the cap is 500?
It's pretty high.
Okay, yeah.
I know that I'm not at it on any character.
It's not on my radar to spend a lot of time on that, because there's a lot of other things that are higher on our list than that, just because it affects such a small number of players. So it could potentially happen someday, but probably not anytime soon.
Okay. Borderless window mode.
Yeah, that's a great question for Dave. I'm not sure where that is.
Okay. Mnemonic Punk. Okay, cool. Did you guys ever think about a roguelike mode where you can die easier, forcing you to reset, but you get a random skill every few stages? Huh.
That sounds pretty cool. I think it's probably a different game, but it's a cool idea. I think there's a lot of kind of funky stuff that we want to do in variants and adventures and events and stuff. So, I think something, who knows, we could maybe pull something similar to that into a variant. But it sounds like a pretty major change. A lot of pieces would have to change for that to work out.
Okay. We already answered that one. With the release of Narak, both monks and gnomes are codename originals. Is it harder to fill certain character cast slots?
It
glass
is
slots?
actually, yeah. That's a great question. It is
I hadn't
a
actually
lot
noticed
harder. There's just not a lot of like really famous Forgotten Realm gnomes, and a lot of the sort of famous Forgotten Realm characters are sort of the more boring classes like fighters and wizards and stuff. And so we want to get like monks. There's just not a lot of really interesting monks out there. And we want to get gnomes. Not a lot of interesting gnomes out there. So in these cases, we're forced to sort of make our own up, or go looking for influencers or whatever. But we have a big, huge list of characters that Wizards likes us to use or would like us to use from canon and whatnot. And once you put on the filter for gnome or monk or other race class combinations, it really narrows down to not a lot for some combinations. So yeah, it is definitely harder to fill certain character slots.
Good to know. Any plans on adding a potion shop to purchase potions and contracts with gems?
No plans on that right now. But I would never say never to something like that. Sounds like it could be fun. But no, we'll let you know if we have more thing. Like right now, you can get chests and familiars with gems, and we'll let you know if we're planning to add anything else for gems in the future.
Okay.
I'll give you some time to save up.
The Project Mangler wants to know if you can train familiars to use the auto progress button. If you're at your wall, it'd be cool if every 30 minutes it would just click on next area.
Yeah, potentially. We're always, as I said, we're always looking for new ways to use familiars, and auto progress is one of those. Though one of the things you guys might like this. One of the things we got a programmer on Idle Champions who has a couple of free cycles, and he was like, "Well, what are the sort of little things that we'd like to add?" And my number one thing, I was like immediately like, when you start a new adventure, turn on auto progress. Just do it. And so hopefully we'll get that into one of the next couple of builds.
I could swear that this started with auto progress on for me.
Maybe he already did that, and we just didn't get it into the patch notes.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's see. Familiars formations.
Yeah, we'd like to either put familiars into save formations or have a separate save formation for familiars. It's just a matter of bubbling that up the priority list.
Okay. Okay, here's a nice one. Just started playing thanks to the inclusion of Holly Conrad's PC. Sadly, I got late to the event. Are there any of the event characters coming back anytime soon?
So as we said, once we get around to when our event calendar started, which was around October of last year, we will 100% be able to get those champions again.
Yeah.
We also are thinking about ways to make it so you can get champions outside of those narrow sort of 2-week windows as well, but we don't really have anything specific to talk about yet.
Okay.
So it's something we want to address, especially now that there's so many people really interested in getting Strix, and now Strix isn't available if you just start playing now. So yeah, definitely something that's very near the top of our priority list.
Okay. Targood, any plans on giving us an option to interact with our potions? I mean, selling them to buy what we want. Gold pot, damage pot.
Like being able to trade potions for potions. That kind of ties into the potion store for gems. Maybe you could like sell unwanted potions for gems and then buy other ones.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
Nobody will have health pots at that point.
Oh, just wait till the tanking and health update. Maybe you will. Yeah, so no plans for that in the immediate future, but don't want to take anything off the table, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Delverton, Justin, what are your thoughts on a system where we can send our benched characters on a quest?
Oh, that sounds a lot like missions in Crusaders of the Lost Idols. I think it's a cool system. I think it works really well in Crusaders, where we've got like 110 different Crusaders and only 14 or 15 slots in the formation at a time. We're not quite there yet in Idle Champions, but I could see us doing something in the future where you use your champions that you're not using in your main adventure.
I feel like, hypothetically, if that were a thing, if we did it tomorrow, people would be basically sending too many people on missions, and then they wouldn't be able to complete adventures, and then they would complain about it.
Potentially.
So
yeah, I think there's other cool things we can do too that are more interactive than missions. I think missions worked pretty well in Crusaders, and it was a fun system to implement, and there's a lot of cool things you can get through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's some other things that you could do with your champions you're not using that I have some ideas for.
Okay. And on the note of other things with characters, multi-classing champions.
Sure, why not? Yeah, there's nothing that would limit us from doing that, I don't think.
No, other than Wizards saying, no, this person is a ranger.
I mean, there's a fair number of Wizards canon characters who are multi-class, so...
It's true. I mean, at this point, they've even said that a character like Elminster is already, like, he's a rogue and a wizard, and like he's already done all these things.
Yeah.
So he's a level 50 character. What do you expect? King Nightmare. Are there any thoughts on being able to level familiars? Like a higher level familiar on the field can click more frequently.
Mm-hmm. That's a cool idea. I don't think we've talked about that specifically, but it's a cool idea. I wouldn't say no to it, but no plans in the near future for that.
Okay. This is interesting. Are there any thoughts of adding another gem purchased familiar for those playing purely free play?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the future we'll probably add more familiars as we have more things for you to do with them. And definitely we will continue to add some for either like gems, or they could maybe unlock for an achievement or completing an adventure or stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
We're not limited to just gems and real money.
Okay.
So yeah.
This is an interesting one. I haven't verified this, but why does the new champion say that he swaps with Hitch, as Delina is the original hero for that slot?
Mm-hmm. I believe, I saw someone talking about this in chat, I believe he just says he switches with whoever you currently have in that slot. So if you swap in Delina and then bring up the dialogue, it might say he swaps with Delina. I don't know, you might have to restart the game in order, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I think it's whoever you currently have in the slot.
In the blog it says Delina or Hitch.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see if we can get that updated.
I'm gonna make this hilariously easy. There we go. I want to push this one to 200 today. That's what I'm gonna do. Anyways,
it's day one of the event. Come on.
What? Only a few times through to get all that favor. Thanatos, how long until our third major favor launches? A new one would be swell. Thank you.
We do have a third permanent campaign coming up down the pipe. I'm not sure I really want to talk about specifically when it's coming, but it is coming. It is coming. I would pay attention to just news and stuff. Watch your email. I'm sure we'll talk about it when it's closer.
Yeah.
But we can't really talk too much about it right now.
Yeah. Oh, this is a funny one, actually. The duck again. Statistics. Dylan always says he passes it along. Does he?
Wait, what is this? What is the statistics thing?
It's in the posts I put in Idle Champions about the Q&A.
Yeah.
It's
about
there.
Having a statistics
They want numbers for
thing.
everything.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that we're looking at doing right now is adding some cool statistics to the reset screen. So like number of monsters you killed on that run and amount of gold.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
So I think Jacob's working on that right now. As for like a full statistics tab or dialogue or something like that, I think it'd be something that's cool to do. There's just, as we always seem to say, there's other stuff that's higher on the priority list right now.
This is, I mean, I always tell them that like this is a rough idea of all the things we're working on. Can we get that in order? I'm like, no, because things change.
It changes from day to day based on sort of what our resources on, who has to work on other things, because we don't just have this game that we're developing, and we're a fairly small team for the amount of stuff that we put out. So yeah, things shift from week to week. Like next week, one of our developers is going on vacation for 2 weeks, and so that means in the game that he works on, there will be like no updates.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be fun for 2 weeks. Hopefully nothing breaks.
I'll be fine. All right, this is interesting. Any plans on enhancing the UI about champions that are active and inactive? So just a little thin green line here.
Right. I would love to make that a little bit more clear. We do have a bunch of UI enhancements that are coming down the line in relation to mobile and other stuff that we're going to try and port back into the Steam version. So yeah, I think we definitely want to, that's one of the things we can look at, is making it more clear who's not in your formation, really, so that you don't maybe accidentally spend gold on them or whatever.
Okay. Sacrifusion wants to know if click potions work with familiars.
Yeah, I think they're.
I'm doing it right now. Actually,
right now, he's got.
You notice how the enemies are
breath.
melting?
Yeah,
They're melting because I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Heck, I'll put this other one on the
Go for it.
2 ultimates that I've got. One of them's gonna go off anytime now.
Yeah, quick potions absolutely work with, yeah, quick potions work with familiars. For sure.
Erlebuck, are there any plans to intensify real-time tactical elements? Example, formation juggling during combat.
I think a little bit of that can be fun, but at the end of the day, we are an idle game, and it's sort of counter to the idle game mantra to have too much sort of real-time stuff. And I think we already really pushed the boundary on that with this game. So probably not anything where we're going to like require you to be juggling your formation during, while you're playing. Just because if somebody doesn't want to do that, then they feel like they're forced to sit down and actively play the game when it's just it's an idle game, right? You should be able to set it up and go away. And we already like the adventure, the dinosaur racing variant. You have to sit there and kind of play for.
I wish I had familiars for that part.
Familiars make it quite a bit easier.
That would be real helpful.
But yeah, it's one of those things where we don't want to do too much of that because we do get a large number of sort of complaints. Large number of people feeling a bit of grief.
Yeah, so, I mean, certainly there are a couple active elements in that, like Barrow stacking is a thing that people can do.
Yeah.
But it's also problematic. So, yeah. Okay, this one's another one from Mnemonic Punk. Who in Codename Entertainment offices is already working on Planeswalkers of Magic: The Idle Gathering?
No one that I know of.
Popular IP. That one.
For sure.
Also owned by Wizards of the Coast. I guess Wizards of the Coast actually started with Magic: The Gathering, but before gobbling up TSR and other stuff.
D&D is like a fun side project.
Oh, that's so unfair.
It is unfair.
It does seem like the building is a Magic building.
It is. I mean, you go into the Wizards offices and it's like 5 floors, and like 3 of the 5 are Magic, and then 1 little corner's for poor old D&D. But they work really hard in that corner. They get out a lot of stuff.
There's like 20 of them, and they put out a book every few months. That's crazy.
They're amazing.
Yeah. Let's see. James Rhodes wants to know if Boo can be a familiar.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I one of the things that some people were suggesting is familiars that are specific to like specific champions. So maybe like a Boo familiar would only level Minx. Like that's a cool way to sort of put in more familiars that don't sort of really overpower anything or make familiars too pervasive.
Just gonna level these guys up a little bit,
yeah, for sure,
so they don't die on this embarrassingly like they often do when I'm on stream.
Just wait till you get to the boss, man. Why are you gonna spoil the boss for everyone?
No, I'm gonna reset at 49.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just close it and start again. Close it with the favor. Mission failed. Yinzer. A lot of players have found all epic gear for non-event champions. This really devalues gold chests. Any way we can get a gear-free chest option, just contracts and potions?
I don't think we have any plans to do that right now. Thanks for the request, though. It's I think what we would really like to do is just make the duplicate gear and make the gear you do get in there good enough that you don't really mind when you have to open some silver or gold chests.
Yeah.
Preferably. But definitely that's a harder thing to do once you've got all of those, all the epics or all of the, all epic shinies or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it becomes a difficult thing to make those chests still be compelling. So.
Okay. This is funny. Of the items listed in yesterday's Q&A, what is Justin's top priority?
So what were the items listed on the roadmap? It was
everything. All the
offline gold, tanking,
chest of potions.
Yeah.
Next campaign, next event.
So the top priority for me right now is offline gold, which also includes some changes to party DPS, such that party DPS is more representative of how much damage your party is actually doing. And once we do that, it'll kind of make ultimates a little bit more useful when you're using barrowing, because your party DPS will more accurately sort of represent how barrowing's affecting your party. And there's a bunch of other champions, even the new champion Rack and Strix have abilities that don't directly enter into your party DPS right now. So we want to fix all of that, and the nice side effect of fixing all of that is that also fixes offline gold kind of automatically.
Okay.
So that is my highest priority. Unfortunately, the last few weeks since we did these back-to-back events and some other stuff that we've been doing, familiars and working with Holly and getting trying to get a little bit ahead on our stuff has left us a little bit behind in terms of the programming time. So hopefully the next couple of weeks we will be able to free some of that up and spend it on offline gold and party DPS. Fingers crossed.
Okay. Oh wait.
Whoop. Whoop.
It's time to reset.
Oh, don't look at the right side of the screen. There's nothing there.
Oh, I failed. I suck.
No. Oh.
Endless War is incomplete. It's still going. The Endless War continues.
Take your 60 favor and move on, sir.
Let's start that again. Drag some familiars out. Plunk. Stabby, stabby. Anyways. All right.
You gotta drag the last one to click damage.
Yeah, at least for the first missions.
There you go. All right.
Seems like a sad place to leave a pseudo dragon. But all right. What about a contest or giveaway to let one lucky player immortalize their favorite player character into a character in the game?
I think that would be really cool. The challenge with that is everything that goes into the game needs to be okayed by Wizards. And I think Wizards is happy to sort of okay the champions that we come up with specifically for things. I think there might be some weird issues around bringing in just sort of a random player's character around ownership and IP and stuff like that. So it was quite an ordeal even just to get like Strix into the game. With Holly Conrad's characters, and she's like,
and she really wanted it to happen.
She's already on the D&D channel right here every week, multiple times. So getting just a random fans in there would be cool, but potentially there could be a lot of challenges to that. So never say never.
The stars gotta align. It's gotta be perfect.
Yeah.
One of those rare occurrences.
Yeah.
Celestial even. Crab Kalash, any chance of getting exportable character information? DPS, gear level, percentage increases, etc. Sort of things to make mathing stuff up easier.
I think players that are enterprising players can probably get a lot of that information already out of the game. I know. Anything we push to live immediately gets data mined to the point where we have to be like, okay, let's quickly remove all this stuff and then do a push, just so that nothing that's too far ahead is spoiled for people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because we could probably be spoiling the next character and stuff even already, right? Yeah.
Yep. There's probably already some data in there for him or her.
Yeah. Them.
For them, right.
Yeah.
So I don't think that we are going to spend a lot of time sort of exporting character information for you guys, but I think if you guys work together, you can probably get a lot of that information just out of the data that's already kind of set to your PC. When
if this is something you find interesting and you're not already on the Discord,
that's true.
There are people talking about it all the time in the Discord, and I know because I see all. There's a channel called Well of Spoilers in there that has all this stuff. So yeah, that's discord.com. It's just discord.gg/idlechampions, and boom. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lauren, for sharing that. So next question, Giant Dwarf. Could you disable buying upgrades for sealed bench slots in variants like Lost in the Deep? So the slots are already disabled.
Probably, yeah, we probably could. I'm surprised well, I guess it doesn't make sense to do that, but yeah, potentially. I think if we get to another variant that's similar to that, that's something we could look at. We're probably not going to go back and try and do that retroactively, but it's something we could potentially do in the future for similar variants. And if we do it for similar variants in the future, it'd probably be pretty easy to port it back, but we're always trying to look forward.
Okay. Clash222 has a suggestion about familiars. They could apply effects. So,
heroes.
Wet, cold, fire, etc. The different heroes normally, like not best in slot, can open up new combinations, etc. So I guess adding different damage types or something.
I think damage types is just speaking on that specifically, would be a cool thing that I think we're on the road to adding. There are some heroes who have sort of damage types kind of specified. Right now it's just, right now all attacks have just melee, ranged, or magic, right? So that's sort of a very simple thought. There are no monsters that are more that are weaker to one or less weak to another. None of that stuff is in yet, but I think that's stuff that could go in the future. And if that stuff does go in, then for sure that's something that familiars could maybe apply. Like if you assign a familiar to a guy, assign a flame elemental to a guy and it makes their sword or whatever, fire damage, and then that does more damage to enemies who take damage from fire. I think that's a cool idea. I think we're multiple steps away from that, but maybe.
Okay. So another one. Chomp the Spear. Do you think at some point mitigation may play a role in the tanking reroll you'll be making? For example, strength and dex adding to being missed and taking less damage.
Yeah, I think.
They're just trying to get info out of you.
I think. I think different types of mitigation is something that we are thinking about for the tanking and healing changes. So right now there's a couple of different sort of things in the game, right? Like Gromma just takes 50% less damage. Arcan has a self-heal that nobody ever notices because nobody uses Arcan.
Sorry, what was that?
Nothing.
Joe's not watching.
Nothing, Joe. Yeah, I think we're thinking about multiple types of mitigation. And for sure, having some that's based on stats could happen. Stuff that's just different for different tanking champions is something that's definitely going to happen. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Is there an ETA on fixing the shiny drop rate? Apparently, according to this player, currently it takes around
7.5 years.
Yeah, farming 5,000 gems a day to get full shinies on core champions as a free-to-play player.
Yeah. We don't have an ETA on it. It is still something that we'd like to do. Yeah.
You mentioned it on the stream in February, actually, where you were just like, having just finished the chest and postage update, it's like you weren't eager to jump into
there's
all
some
that
very, very scary code in that sort of stuff. And the only reason I haven't just gone in and just done it is because it's not as simple as just copying the check a little bit up. There's a lot of sort of things that fall off of that, so we just have to make sure we do it right.
Yeah. Okay, this is an interesting one. Mataz. We categorize characters as male or female and have attached achievements. What about gender fluid or androgynous characters?
Yeah, I think that's something we could do in the future, is have like gender fluid or androgynous characters. The question of how that would interact with things that are male, female, that sort of stuff is a good question. It's something we'd have to think about.
Let's see, Garwar. Are the 4th event variants going to stay at level 175 for completion now? A past one was 200 and was deemed too difficult and lowered, so now I check each time. Figured I'd ask if there was a decision made.
Yeah, actually, our artists ask about this every time we do a new event. It's like, is it still 175? And yeah, for now, I think 175 is the sort of balance point that we've
first
settled on.
Year or whatever, first
yeah,
tier.
I mean, I think we've settled on that, and it feels pretty good for what you can kind of get to in 12 days. So for now, I think it'll probably stay around 175. I think as we, maybe next year it'll be 200, but for certainly all the year one events, I don't see it going much above 175 because it feels like a good number.
Okay. Any chance of getting any more of Team Delana and Minsk from the IDW comics into the game? Who's
Maybe.
Delana? No, I'm kidding. People usually ask
Delana's
questions
awesome.
About Delana, I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and when we get around to that champion rebalance, I'm like, God, I'm going to make Delana so good.
Yeah, just
I'm
nuking
going to
everybody.
nerf the hell out of Hitch and make Delana so good.
Just move the friendly buff over.
Yeah.
Just move it to the next character.
Just Hitch
who
is-
uses Hitch?
Hitch is going to be unfriendly now. Debuff the DPS of all champions by 100%.
All right, so let's see. We've already answered that. Adding specialization paths. All right, adding specialization paths to clicking. That doesn't lead to more damage necessarily, but faux debuffs like vulnerability, auto's irresistible dance, innervation.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool down the road. No immediate plans for that. It's also something we could address in blessings potentially. But yeah, some sort of specialization would be kind of cool for those.
Why do fire breath pots basically translate as never buy click damage levels? With familiars common use makes it rather counterproductive right about now.
Well, I mean, fire breath pots aren't infinite, right? So you don't always have them. And also, click damage tends to peter off at a certain point, depending on how much favor you have. So fire breath potions, we want them to always be useful. So that's why they're good. Yeah, I still think click damage, leveling up your click damage is still useful if if you're not using a fire breath potion at that exact second, like Dylan's doing right now on his
I used it in the last one. I haven't set it up for this one yet.
Yeah,
I'm going
but
to.
I mean, at a certain point, you get enough favor that you can get pretty far into your run without needing a fire breath potion, just with click damage and familiars.
Yeah, it should get you
as long as
past the
don't run
first 50
into,
levels at least.
As long as you don't run into too much that's got hits-based damage.
Or frost giants that just kill you anyways.
Armored hits-based damage.
Yeah. Falcon Grey, would you ever consider adding Imoen from the Baldur's Gate to Mage Thief?
Sure. Yeah, I would consider that.
I think we have access to everybody from the
We
Baldur's
do.
Gate
All the Baldur's Gates games, all the Neverwinter games. I don't know if there's anyone in Neverwinter that anyone ever asked for. Any sort of...
No. Nobody.
I haven't
Not a
heard
single
any.
one. I've never, ever had anybody say anything about that.
I think I can say with 100% certainty that we will never add any kobold characters from Neverwinter.
Yeah, nobody likes them.
Ever. Because
Nobody even likes
no one
kobolds.
has ever asked for one.
Yeah.
And...
Wizards... Blizzard has already destroyed kobolds with like candles and other nonsense, so they just like
exactly.
nobody thinks
it's
very much of
just
them.
not worth doing. So yeah, definitely not ever going to happen. Never, ever, ever.
White Boy Rick, are you planning on adding more upgrades to the current blessings?
Yeah, yes we are. As we add in more upgrades just in general, you'll be able to get more and more favor sort of naturally without any sort of cheeky activities. And so as we do that, for sure we will add more blessings.
Okay. And familiars that can click on the distractions?
Yep, that's a common sort of thing that people have been asking about, and I think for sure we will at some point put a little circle up in the sky that you can put there. Familiars, or not familiars, distractions are actually something that we're hoping to be able to get more in and more variety in the nearish future. Because I know we had a couple of free art cycles and we made like another dozen.
People were certainly talking about them a
familiars.
lot. I don't know what they decided. But.
No, they're in. I believe we're just waiting to get approval from Wizards, and then we just got to ship them over to a developer to actually set them up in game. So
Makes sense.
hopefully soon. more places will have familiar distractions.
Cool.
Well, yeah.
More than there are currently.
Yes.
Cool. Well, since there aren't any more questions directly to you right now,
there we go.
and it's after 2, and you're obviously just kind of.
I gotta go see if this event still works.
You go out there and it's gonna be like everything's on fire. This is fine. No.
You smell smoke.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But so unless you have another question for Justin that you're gonna type up 10 seconds from after I finish the sentence and get back to us really quickly.
Just click over here and just see
Yeah. Well, there's one.
What do you think about a tier 3 global? Whoa! Wow, they all went away. Oh no.
What do you think about a tier 3 global buff that makes the normal buffs apply to other campaigns at 1% value?
Ooh. I probably won't do that. I think I want to keep that separation between the local and the global buffs in the blessings.
Okay. Given the success of Codename Entertainment, when can we expect Justin to appear before a congressional or parliamentary committee?
I don't think we keep enough private information about people on our servers for that to happen. But I do like that booster seat. I'd like to get a booster seat.
Yeah, you want a seat cushion.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can look like a real boy at a table. Yeah.
I feel shorter than you. Look at this. But I'm not.
It's the angle.
It's because you know what it is.
I'm at the outer edge of the wide lens.
You know what it is? No, it's because I'm a sloucher. There we go. All right.
Wait, I'm actually looking at the wrong screen. There we are. Yeah, but you're more in the center of the frame anyways, so I'm just gonna.
That's fine. That's
check back.
Yeah.
Tiny.
It's fine. If my fiance was here, she'd be like.
She is taller than I am. She's taller. She is one of the tallest people I've met.
Taller than I am.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
That's it.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, and.
Yeah. Thanks.
It
everyone.
seems like everything has launched smooth. The game didn't crash or anything. No weird flickers with people disappearing.
Yes, I found all of those before we launched.
No 1 frame per second frost giant fights.
Oh my god, there was some crazy stuff broken before we pushed, but fixed it all except for the stuff that was still broken. Anyway, hopefully it's all fixed now. I'll go there and find out.
Cool.
Anyway, thanks all. Enjoy Dylan for the next 45 minutes.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Well, they might.
Who doesn't?
That's a deep
Cheers.
question. Oh god. All right, I'm gonna switch this thing back over. Okay. Oh god, I have questions too. Jesus. Alrighty, Falcon Gray. Question: Dylan, for streaming, ever consider dual streaming simultaneous using Mixer? XSplit has it built in, if I remember correctly, for a larger viewer base. We had not. The main reason, the biggest reason that we're doing this at all is because we are allowed to do it on the official D&D Twitch. If we weren't doing that, I don't know that we would be streaming at all, or at least we might not be, because we have a better connection to both our audience and the D&D audience here, and that's why we jumped all over the opportunity, and we're never going to give up our time slot ever unless we are murdered and it is taken from us. So that's kind of how that's rolling. I feel like I'm quieter now. I'm just going to touch this. Okay, cool. Let's see. Somebody already asked about the bestiary, so sorry, Felbrecht. The answer is we're probably not going to do a bestiary, just because bestiary, just because it's a crazy amount of work and UI and so on and so forth. But that said, we do intend to add a way for you to get what do you call it? The enemy types more easily visible. So whether that's mousing over a guy and having something show up or some other thing, we'll figure that out. In the meantime, there are monsters in the Monster Manual, Volo's Guide to Monsters, and soon to be Mordenkainen's Dumb Foes, where there are enemy types. Leotar, how about adding legendary items and more stuff to unlock and get stronger? That's certainly a possibility down the road. I feel like they should hug when one of them leaves. Justin and I like each other, but not that much. I don't think we're at the hugging, like the loose pat phase yet. Maybe. Fuzzbox, do you play in any D&D games currently? I do. I play in 2 different games. I play in our Office campaign, playing a Shatterkai Warlock, as just like what I say right here. Sorry, I forgot which camera I was looking at, so I was doing the angle wrong. So yeah, I play in that campaign, and then I play in another one with my fiance and some other close friends that I've known for decades. where I am playing an Azamar cleric, and we are going through Tomb of Annihilation right now. Actually, we're playing that one again this coming Saturday, so that's good. Those sessions tend to be longer because it's harder for us to meet up, so we tend to play for like 5 hours, whereas the ones in the office, we tend to go through 2 to 3 hours a week, depending on how busy everybody is for their lunch hours. Alrighty, Ghostly Looks. Will we see incorporated old D&D modules as a base to the game from the Forgotten Realms? So it depends on what you mean by that. So old D&D modules, like obviously they don't translate directly into 5e, and we're very focused on 5e right now, and so that is kind of where our priority lies. But at the same time, there are bits of older editions of Dungeons and Dragons being added to 5e all the time, including, I don't know if you noticed the monster types on screen in the background, but like this event is filled with Gith, both Githyanki and Githzerai, and you know, includes a number of enemies and types that are going to be in the upcoming Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, but have also already been in D&D in some form in previous editions. So in that way, we are going to see old D&D modules incorporated more and more. But in terms of our office, like in terms of Codename Entertainment and our game, trying to adapt D&D content from previous editions into this one, that's less likely. We tend to be focused more on adding 5e, in which you know, there's a plethora of things. I mean, we haven't done anything from Storm King's Thunder. We haven't done anything from Rise of Tiamat. You know, Dungeons and Dragons will also be releasing more campaigns, I'm sure, at some point. So, you know, there's no shortage of stuff for us to add. Yeah. Anyways, how am I doing in this game? I'm just going to look at this for a minute. Whispers, you will fail. There is no strength in you that can stand against this shadow. Well, I know what that is. It's giving me a very Yogg-Saron vibe, if anybody has played some other games that have also riffed on this kind of stuff. Alrighty. My characters don't entirely suck. This positioning a little better. What's next? OG17. Digging the Kron fix, but why'd you turn him bald and yellow? Yeah. I have not unlocked Narak yet, but you can now. What I'm probably going to do is, I don't want to spoil the final couple levels of this, so when I was talking to Justin, I was a little bit too busy to think about it, but what I'm going to do is when I get to the last couple areas, 48, 49, 50, I am going to switch to the tavern view and not spoil it for anybody who's watching. The boss encounters have been, you know, a lot of work gets put into them, and they're one of the more fun things to see, and so I don't want to spoil it for anybody who gets enjoyment out of being surprised or seeing something, you know. I mean, not that you can't totally infer where it's going based on everything else in this event, but yeah. Iwakichka. Any tips for people who have full epics and shinies? If every piece of loot you have is both epic and shiny, I would just save gems and chests personally, because loot in chests is determined when you open them. So if anything changes related to chests in the future, like for example in the past where if you have unlocked Dritz, his loot is added to the pool. If we ever do anything like that again, you will be able to open chests and just gear out that character with, presumably, if you're already in full epics and shinies across everybody, you should be able to get them in full rares in 5 chests and epics inside 50. So there's that option, which isn't, I'm not confirming that we're doing that anytime soon, but like that is an option. Yeah. Inalop map. Why is this event so close to the last one? It's just our production schedule. There's a number of events that we aim to hit per year. This one is back to back. It's not always going to be like this. Usually there's a gap of 1 to 2 weeks of other content in between releases, event releases, and so yeah, this one is just quicker than usual, but it's not the norm. Erithil. Are there going to be new tiers of blessings and achievements? Eventually. Justin mentioned it earlier on stream. But yes, there will eventually be more Tears of Blessings, as well as another campaign and its own blessings and so on and so forth. So that will happen eventually. How am I doing this? For anybody who's wondering, this is Stokey. Stokey is the first event champion. Okay. I need a drink of water. Daylight Asunder, are you, Codename, going to be making an appearance at CovaCon in Courtney this weekend? Daylight Asunder, are you working in our office? Yes. Clive, Eric, and I believe Peter will all be there, and they will be testing and previewing some stuff that I can't talk about. But yes, we will be at CovaCon in Courtney. Corey Zawaski, why is Strix so expensive? Because Strix is in slot 11. Excuse me. You'll notice that Strix is cheaper than Jamila. You know, I think it's like, what, 35 quadrillion for Strix? I know it seems like a lot. But also, when you start earning more favor, you get characters so much faster, and you get her much more quickly as well. I usually unlock her in the first 10 or so areas, playing the Grand Tour of the Sword Coast campaign, and only a few more areas than that in Tomb of Annihilation. And obviously the event, because I only have 62% extra gold find, although I could play with Jarlaxle, you know, it's going to take me a while before I'm using Strix in the event. But what I will probably do is I will start pushing into the high 100s, 200 plus area later today, at which point it will be really easy for me to unlock her. I am going to use a Fire Breath Potion. I'll make this much faster. Get rid of this fairy, Alpar, and let's start. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use the gold one too. I got a gold one, right? No, that's the old Fire Breath pot. Gold find. Damage. Let's let this be a pushing one. I want to get into the high hundreds. High hundreds. Some random ults being cast. That's cooler, right? Everybody likes that. I'm cool, right? Okay. So, what do we got? Mnemonic Punk. What is a useful percentage of favor to restart at? So that varies wildly based on your campaign and what's going on. Ideally, you are pushing as far as you can every run up to your wall when you can't make any progress, and hopefully you are able to easily afford up to the level cap by then. And so you kind of just keep doing that. Certainly when you first start out, it's very slow going. But you know, the amount of favor you earn towards earning more favor goes up dramatically as you get through quickly. So the further you progress. So you just want to push as far as you can and then reset, and then push as far as you can and then reset. Aim to at least increase your favor by like 10 to 20% each time if you can. And you just kind of keep doing that, and eventually you just start building up exponentially more favor, and then you can start spending it on things. I don't like having less than E11, E12 favor to spend as a to increase my gold find, because it just makes things so much quicker. So yeah, that's kind of my rule for it, Mnemonic Punk. Yeah. Canuck Monkey, any idea why since I restarted I am not able to assign my familiars to level hero slots 1, 2, 9, 10, 11, or 12? Honestly, Canuck Monkey, that sounds like a bug. I would just open a ticket. If restarting the game is you're not allowed to do it, then it's something that sounds strange. Yeah, I had never actually assigned my familiars to level characters, so it's not something I would have noticed personally. All right. So, how's everybody doing today? Are you guys having a good week? That's an odd question, Feist. Does unspent favor buff my party in any way? No, unspending your favor just allows you to reallocate it in whichever way you want. So before you are able to afford everything, sometimes you might, start buying the wrong thing. So it's there to allow you to, to reset and repurchase everything if you want to. I know I tried out a couple different things because I think it's in this one where there's an attack speed one, base attack cooldown. Edge of your seat, which is not one that I really liked playing with when you're trying to get Barrowin stacks. So, I reset my blessings in order to do that. Just keep in mind that when you do reset your blessings, you lose a % of your total favor. So, there's a bit of a hindrance to doing it. It's not massive, but it's there. Actually, I guess I'm at the point where I can do that. I'm still organizing. God. The best part of this is moving characters around the formation. You know this. Okay, so Aqua Berry Panther. Do the gold find favor and damage favors carry over the event campaigns? They're campaign specific, so whichever event it is one type of favor. The Tomb of Annihilation campaign is Kelemvor's favor. The Grand Tour of the Sword Coast campaign is Torm's favor. And there isn't carryover for favor from one campaign to the next, except in the context of when you complete an event and you convert your favor, you can take whatever the event favor is and increase either your Kelemvor's or Torm's favor by a percentage. So you can double or more the amount of favor you have in one of those campaigns, which you would just use to spend. So I've got 62 Lathander's favor right now, which is not very much. Certainly not enough to increase Torm's or Kelemvor's by any meaningful percentage, but that's what you do with it. You're buffing those two right now. There will be more, just not yet. Vengeance, of course. It's all vengeance all the time. Vengeance is everything. Yeah. The only blessings that carry over Autarchus 69 is there are a few global blessings. So if you pull up the blessings menu, the ones in the right column over all campaigns mentioned there for all three of these, and then the same thing for Kelemvor's. Certainly when you're starting out, getting your way up to legendary champions and double damage, it's just a flat ×2 buff on all campaigns twice, which is super helpful for helping you to progress more quickly and further. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, another drink. Parched today. So since they launched the event while I was starting my stream, I'm just going to have a quick check here to see if there's anything else I should know about this. Oh, people are liking Area 50. Good, I'm glad. Okay, cool. Cool beans. Yep. Okay, so doesn't look like there's anything else major. Erica has just notified me that the familiar bug should be fixed now if you download the new updates. So yeah, maybe I will do that right now too, so that I can test that out. So I'm just going to switch this back over to the tavern view and close the game and try and get this fixed. Alright, it's downloading the buff, or the fix, sorry. Let me just double check. Yeah, it says it did it. Alrighty, games. Wow. Too many games installed. Where's Idle Champions? There it is. Waiting for it, waiting for it, waiting for it. Boom, there we are. Auto progress is still on, but oh, interesting. Anyways, cool. So, interlock map, is there a cap for the percentage conversion of favor? It does kind of, it slows down the further you get. It is much easier to get to 80-90% than it is to get past 100. Yes, you can pass 100, although it is very difficult at this point to pass 100%. You know, I think the furthest I've seen a player get is like 130%, but they were utilizing some slightly buggy mechanics in order to push much further than players should have been able to at that time. Yeah, I'm going to pull up the view again so people can see. Yes, I am still playing the game, even though you can hear the music. You can hear the music. The music's playing. So yeah, it kind of like it curves out in how quickly you can accumulate it. So it's sometimes players will gear up their event champion quite quickly, and then they will move on at that point. Ruthio Targaryen, do these events count as a campaign so my heroes get buffed from their ×2 damage? Yes. Yeah, the global blessings are applicable in events as well. I think only one of the global blessings says on it that it helps in global blessings, because it's, yeah, temporary worship increases the amount of favor gained from resetting in event campaigns by 25%. But all of these apply to all campaigns. When it says all campaigns, that includes events. Will there ever be a familiar slot to click distractions, or have the ability for the regular clicker slot to hit distractions too? Justin just mentions this on stream. Yeah, that's something that we've talked about. We don't have an ETA on it because like we're not done with familiars. But yeah. So, oh, got a kink in my neck from sleeping funny last night. Just gonna level these characters. Oh yeah, key strike. That click. That frickin' click from the bloody vent. Drive me nuts. Y'all can hear that, right? It's not just me going crazy. It must be showing up in the audio. Yeah. Dylan's pub background for all users. You know, I don't know if we've decided to do that. The pub background is actually animated. I don't know how many of you have noticed, but like the fire is going, although my head tends to be in the way, and then like the candles are kind of flickering. Although the animation is really, really subtle. It's you know, it's something that Michelle put together when she had a few free cycles in between different monster lists to complete. And obviously she's on vacation right now. Michelle's down in Mexico enjoying some sun. But yeah, we might release the pub background at some point. It's just it's an Idle Champions pub. It's got some nice. I mean, you can see it here. It's got some nice tapestries and what players have described as an Archon head in the background. Jerks. Some weapons that are a little kind of renowned, and some artifacts here and there. But yeah, the candles are flickering and the fire. If I can, there you go. You can see the fire now. It's kind of going away there. The loop isn't perfect on this one. This is the imperfect loop file that I've been using just because we didn't get around to fixing it. I'm going to keep this pub view up for a bit because I'm fighting the last couple missions right now. I'm going to clear this out and kill the thing that's at the end, the dangerous thing. But yeah, Lauren, you got to love the banners. Aren't those awesome? I love the way that those came together. And some chickens roasting on the fire. This would be a good smelling pub. Except maybe that like disembodied hand with the eyeball on the table. You know. But yeah, people want this background, huh? Well, I'll have to pester Michelle about it when she gets back next week. Because, yeah. In the meantime, I am finishing this, nice. I've been waiting to see how this would turn out. This is really cool. I mean, I'm going to kill it super quickly, but I like it. I like the style and the way that it looks. Well done, team. I wonder, did Michelle do this one before she left, or was this done by some other people? And the monsters. I love those monsters. Sweet. Anyway. Just going to finish this one. That is dead. Moving to the next area. One of the worst enemies you could ever possibly face. The worst. The worst. I'm going to continue not complete. Back to solo view. Okay. Sorry, I don't want to spoil it. I thought it was really cool. I liked it. That was a good encounter. My favorite is still the T-Rex though, just because it's barfing zombies constantly. Oh, it looks rad. I still remember when Alexis drew that T-Rex because she I guess the artist rolled flipped a coin or like rock paper scissors or something to see who got to do the T-Rex, and Alexis won it, and she did the T-Rex, and it's just awesome, totally awesome. A vague D&Ding, yeah, no doubt. Hey, yeah. Garwar is working on the guide. Welcome, Garwar, and thank you, Silverbird, Ogmok, Canuck Monkey 13, Mike Hermit. Welcome, everybody. I know I didn't get to do shoutouts to everybody on their way in. I try, but it's funny. I'm just looking at too many sources of information at once. I have like the Twitch feed open to make sure that we actually are broadcasting, and then it's showing up on the Twitch. I have the XSplit set up for the broadcast, which, if anybody remembers when Holly Conrad was on last week, which it bugged out, and for no reason at all, the stream code just disappeared, even though it was still listed. And then I have a Mattermost, which is how we do our codename communications internally, and just keeping up on updates there, just in case there's anything that I should be mentioning. I have a list of the questions that as they come in through the stream. I have a script that just basically includes all the talking points that I have to make sure I try and hit every episode. And I'm just like a little out of it today, so I haven't been doing that quite as succinctly as I'd like to. And then I have the Twitch chat window open, of course. I don't have the Discord open on the stream computer just because I can't pay attention to that window as well as the Twitch chat window. But that, and then I have a bunch of apps and other things running to just try and keep the broadcast relatively sleep. OMFG Tora, hello. Your life is now complete. Yes, if anybody hasn't noticed, there is a Steam update right now. If you close the game, it should just get the update. You don't have to restart or anything, at least I didn't. That should fix some of the familiar bugs that you've been seeing. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep plowing through this event. I'm using a bunch of epic pots because this run I'm going to push as far as I can before resetting. So I'll probably leave this going until tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you so much, Lauren, for sharing the link to the Discord and the subreddit. We do weekly Q&As on the subreddit every Wednesday, at least I try to, where I get annihilated by questions for a couple hours leading into lunch. But yeah, 10 p.m. Pacific on Wednesdays in the subreddit, we tend to do Q&As. Obviously, we're on the live stream right now that lasts for another 15-ish minutes. On the best day of the week to broadcast from the D&D Twitch, because Trapped in a Birdcage is on later. And then there's also Waffle Talk on before it, which is pretty cool if you're super into DCA. And then there's also, of course, some tiny show called Critical Role on after that. But Trapped in the Birdcage, it's on at 5 Pacific and has... It's madness. It's wonderful, delightful madness. And you should all check it out. And I'm not just saying that because Holly is wonderful and she, gave us her character in game. I'm saying it because like it's fun in a really unique way. Fun to watch. Trapped in the Birdcage. Check it out. But yes, my screen is super cluttered. Cluttered. God, I can't even read today or talk. I suck. Solids or stripes? Solids. Nobody looks good in stripes. Delverton. Is there any benefit to using 2 or more epic potions? No. If it's the same type, there isn't. I'm using 3 different types. One that increases the base damage of everybody, one that increases click damage, and one that increases gold find. So those work. But using 2 fire breath potions won't do anything. So definitely don't use them. Yeah. Because I think you can. Like, I don't mind using one for science. Here's my gold find. I think I can use another one this one. That was wasted. It did nothing. I shouldn't have done that. Don't do that. Don't be like Dylan. Yeah. So, what else is... Oh, God, that freaking Ben. So, what else is new? Was anybody on the team agitating for Dakon to be the event champion before you settled on Narak? Nope. Now, that isn't to say that nobody likes specific characters. It's just, yeah, we you know what, it's choosing champions isn't a democracy. Justin has a way that he wants to fit them together, and then that is reconciled with our needs and also what works out. I mean, the thing with Holly, like it took us some time to put that together, and then then there's the development time. Once we're allowed to do it, then there's development time and making the character, making Strix, and the creative process, the artists having a back and forth with Holly, getting things approved, etc. So like getting those characters as well is it's a lot. Orvalaws, do bounty contracts benefit from the gold potion? I don't know. I don't know if that's taken into account. My understanding is that bounty contracts are based off offline gold gain, so they are not probably working as ideally as we would like. But you do still get all your tokens. Erica says that they do work with the gold potions, but yeah, they're based off offline gold gains. So I tend to use them bounty contracts only to get tokens. Like I could probably just use a stack of contracts here and then get more than enough tokens to just buy a gold Narak chest. He's over here, right? Oh no, I have to hit complete in order to do it. Derp, I'm like, why isn't he there? It's like, because I can't unlock him. Yeah. Anywho. New t-shirt, don't be like Dylan. You guys don't like black t-shirts? It's just a black t-shirt. Come on. I know it doesn't have an Idle Champions logo on it, but yeah. It's plain. What's wrong with plain? Also, I don't really want to... I have other branded shirts that are for brands outside of D&D, and I don't know. I don't really want to wear them on the D&D Twitch because this is the D&D Twitch. So if I had more D&D shirts, I'd be wearing those. But plain Jane black T-shirt for me right now. Malkavian logic. Can we get a buy all button to level up heroes? Having to button mash is an annoyance. First world problems. We've talked about this a bit internally. There's a number of different requests related to leveling up champions that come up. So I'm not sure exactly which ones we're going to prioritize or how that's going to look. Those are David questions. So the next time David's around, we'll have to poke him about that. Let's see. What do you think of the Duck Totem Barbarian? Any chance of having one in game, even as a boss fight? The fear would be a cool mechanic to have. Heroes with wisdom below X could be slowed or not able to attack. Duck Totem. Oh, right. I don't know. That's funny. Certainly Barbarians is an area where we are lacking champions already. Never mind enemies. I do know that there are some Barbarians that have been on our monsters list to be included in an update in the future that I can't speak about. But yeah, we're missing Barbarians, aren't we? We need more Barbarians. More Barbarians. I'm going to pass that on. Oh, the Duck Totem is from Critical Role. I was thinking that I was thinking of something totally different. I don't play a Barbarian, so like the rule sets for them do not come to mind. Subclasses. Because, like when I think about Barbarians, I also think about like what Rudy and Satine did with their Mordenkainen's notes to everything else, where there's a whole bunch more subclasses. Because I was planning on doing a Red Reaver Barbarian at some point in the future, but there's a lot of different subclasses. Primal Paths, Path of the Berserker, Path of the Warrior, Ancestral Guardian, Storm Herald, Zealot, Battle Rager. Battle Rager, that's a dwarf one, right? Yeah, it is. So there's tons of them. But yes, if it is something specific to Taldoriel, the Critical Role campaign, then it's probably not going to be in the game. Sorry. Giant Dwarf, what is your t-shirt size? I am either a unisex medium, which is to say not a fitted medium, because I'm a little bit too broad-shouldered for fitted mediums, or a large. Lean towards a large shirt. Large t-shirt. How about, let's just go with that. Waffle or pancake? Ooh, waffles. Obviously. And not just because of Waffle Crew, because waffles are just better than pancakes. God, you can flame me. Come at me. Waffles are better than pancakes. Do you crave pancakes or do you crave waffles? When you go to the restaurant, do you order pancakes or waffles? And when there aren't waffles available, are you mad that it's only pancakes? So yeah, waffles. Rocks in my dryer. Do you guys plan to have a champion replace Jarlaxle at some point? So believe it or not, Rocks in my dryer, which is the worst thing to happen to a dryer ever, Our first ever champion switch was for Jarlaxle, Stokey, codename Pickle, and that was back in September. Will there be another one? Yeah, there will be another one at some point. What can I say? Waffle Crew or Awful Crew? Oh, Waffle Crew Strix, Waffle Crew Evelyn and Diath, but Awful Crew Paulton or Nuablib, because awesome. Does that help, Garwar? Justin Spluter, I crave pizza. I crave pizza too, but it does not agree with me. I am mildly sensitive to dairy, and it just like makes me uncomfortable and feel terrible. So, yeah. Nitlap, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Nitlap, and then normal Strix, and yeah, I don't know about Evil Diath. I like Diath more than Evil Diath. And then yes, Nega Evelyn or Evil Evelyn or whatever is pretty rad. But I mean, how could you not love Evelyn more? I mean, her face. I don't want to spoil anything that's like probably like 8 weeks old now, but she killed a thing by being devoured by it. That was so rad. That was such a good moment. Why is there so much dialogue for Jarlaxle when nobody uses Jarlaxle, Mike Hermit? Thank you. So it's because of his character dynamic with other characters. Like Jarlaxle is antagonistic to pretty much everybody. Certainly in the Companions of the Hall. I mean, he's one of our few characters that doesn't have just a flat good alignment, you know? Like, most of our characters are good. Jarlaxle is not. He's kind of a dick. And he's just a good fit for being a jerk. That said, my Stokey has 2 golden epics, and my Jarlaxle has, I think, none, so kind of limits me to who I'm going to pick. But anyways, Mike Hermit, it's just the opportunity to use him in that way. We've had requests of late to include other characters more frequently in dialogue, but at the end of the day, the first 3 champions, 4 champions, 5 champions, but certainly the first 4 are the ones that every player is going to know and who are unlocked more quickly and so on. So, the dialogue tends to focus on them. But I mean, we used Ashara in our recent Tomb update, and it's on our radar to include other characters more frequently. Event champions are unlikely to ever be included, just because not everybody has them. So there'd be a disembodied voice talking for a champion that you don't own. So we're kind of focused on core champions right now. All right, Fire times 6. In the offline gold update, will abilities like Regis's Ruby Weakness be calculated in? The intent is to include, a better approximation of everything that would normally happen when the game is running. But one of the reasons this hasn't been done yet is because of how complex that is. So, Regis's Ruby Weakness specifically, I can't speak to that. But Justin is thorough. So, Rocks My Dryer, is there any chance we'll get to replay seasonal adventures later in the year? I started playing just after High Harvestide and would love to have access to champions I missed. So it's been spoken to a few times. And also, before I forget, there's a raffle going on right now. This one is for a Gazer Familiar pack, DLC pack, which includes epic click potions, it includes potions of polish, and that ugly ass Gazer dude is drooling in the top of my screen. So good luck to you. So back to Rocks in My Dryer. The intent is for, not 100% of our events, but the intent is for seasonal events to be annual. And if we do them similar to how we've done them in Crusaders of the Lost Idols, and I'm not saying definitively that we are doing it this way, but this is kind of the idea. Each year there would be more, like another tier of the event to do. So when High Harvestide, or whatever is in that slot, comes up this year, in September, you will be able to unlock Stokey again, but there might be another event or objective on top. So there'd be like the first tier event objective, and then the second tier event objective. So that's possibly how it's going to look. But yes, you will be able to replay events and unlock champions you've missed. And we are also working to include a new system that will allow you to unlock event champions outside of their events. We just haven't gotten to the point where we have something to share about that topic yet. We will get there, but we're not there yet. To give everybody some insight into how this week has gone for us and why it took us until Thursday afternoon to release an event that we had hoped to release Wednesday morning. I'm not going to blame this on Dave for being sick, because it's not his fault that he's sick. But at the same time, Dave being sick meant that we had one less very integral member of our team to work on the event and fix bugs and do run-throughs and testing and so on and so forth. So more work falls on Justin and more work falls on Mark. And so it's just like that kind of thing really hits us. We're a small team. So yeah, I hope that helps. So Zhao asking about Steam trading cards coming out ever. Yes. We were actually talking about it during our meeting this morning. We're not really sure why we haven't already done it. That might be a question for Dave when he recovers. Because yeah, it's my understanding is that they are at or near completion. But yeah, we do intend to do them for sure. So there will be Steam trading cards for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms at some point. Can Halen. I've been playing since the game started. My champions are fully geared and often hit max level and get to level 215. But I've never seen E level gold or damage. Is it a setting thing? Oh, I was like so confused by what you're saying. E level. I'm like, so I have my game set to scientific notation. That's why. If I turn it off, boom, back to, you know, talking in trillions apparently at this point. It's just my preference to use scientific notation because I personally find it easier to look at the screen and be like, okay, have a better idea of how I could spread out all my everything. And apparently, okay, yeah, there, it switched back. It's just I find it quicker for me to look at it and be like, okay, this is what level my characters are, this is what level everything is, and it just, because I find that the amount that I spend on upgrading a champion to be a better indicator of their power level than what level they are at, just because they vary in level. So yeah, it's just scientific notation. That's all it is. No, you weren't missing something, Con Halen. It's just it's scientific notation being checked on. We've had some requests to include engineers notation to the game, but I don't know that we're going to do it. We might. I don't know. It would require a lot of people. Yeah. Mortoned wants to know who's giving the extra 310% in gold find after the potion. I have Event Vapor. I haven't reset. I reset the first time at level 49, and then this time I'm going to push it as far as I can. So I'm going to try and aim for a really good increase in favor before resetting this time. Geralt Revi, congratulations. Oh, Michitora, you gotta do Raffle. We just did one. Oh man, you missed out on possibly earning a Gazer. Instead, Geralt Revi has it. Yeah. So we're actually getting pretty close to the end of our stream here. I didn't even realize. 2:53. So I got like a minute left to talk. Reapa Ninja is new here. Say hello. Hello, Reapa Ninja. Oin32 is new here. Say hello. Hello, Oin32. I'm sorry, I don't normally get these notifications, but welcome. Welcome. I'm talking about Idle Champions, so hopefully that's why you're here. Otherwise, you're just very confused that we're not talking about or playing Dungeons & Dragons exactly at the moment. Yeah, that's about it. This is pretty much everything we have for the show today. So thank you so much for watching our stream. Thanks to Justin for taking some time out of his hectic schedule to join us for the stream this week. I know that everybody likes being able to ask Justin questions that are about the architecture of the game and get answers that literally nobody else in the office can give. So we're happy to do that when he has enough free time to do so. Thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for hosting us. It really is an honor and a pleasure to be here. Thank you for watching. I believe next up is Waffle Talk at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific in about an hour, followed by Holly Conrad's Trapped in a Birdcage show at 5 p.m. And then, of course, Critical Role at 7. So we'll see you next time, next week. Same channel, same place, same time, all that jazz. Yeah, thank you so much for watching.